All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Good morning, Norm. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this Thursday morning. Let's see what we got for us today. We see the SPY's looking very active right now, Norm. Anything going on specifically?
Yeah, we just got jobless claims info for last
That's right.
week. They came in just a little bit better than expected. So that is popping the market up slightly. You never know how that's going to go. If they come in worse, does the market take that as there's going to be more stimulus? So we'll see how it pans out over the next few minutes here. Like I said, it was released just a little bit late.
Mm-hmm.
And it just came in, I don't know, literally right before you said good morning to me. So let's see, let's
Gotcha.
give it 5 minutes or so, see if the market picks a direction, see if it likes it, doesn't like it. Wholesale inventories 10 a.m. this morning. That's the only other piece of data I see coming out today. Um, and as far as sectors go, it was tech and semiconductors that were up the most, along with communications. Really, the only things in the red are energy and, uh, healthcare. That is just ever so slightly off. So really, it's pretty much across the board except for those two. Financials just turned a tiny bit red, but essentially flat, not even a tenth of a percent.
Got it.
So
Thanks, man.
let's see
Mm-hmm.
what the day's got in store. Like I mentioned, we've kind of had low volume chop this week. Market
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure out what it wants to do, if it can go any higher, trying to figure out what's going on with all these new cases of COVID. We'll see.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, you can see it here on the daily, guys. We're coming off some pretty wide bars here that obviously have moved things quite a bit, and now we're just pretty much chopping around. So let's see. We're getting towards the top of this range at the most part. Let's see if that's going to break out of that. Taking a look at our gappers list this morning, guys. We have quite a bit in the green and a few in the red here today as well. Looking pretty nice. I looked earlier at WBA. That looks great. Let's see what's going on there. And then we have a few in the green, some in the double digits here. So let's start with what's gapping down, and then we'll make our way over to what's gapping up. In our gap up list, I already see some that we've been watching for some time. The cruise lines are in here today, this morning. And you have the regular suspect, INO, NKLA. These guys have been extremely active over the last couple of days. JD, Baba, amazing day yesterday. We'll get into that. And again, it's just the regular suspect sitting here on the gapping up list. Let's take a look at what's gapping down this morning, starting with BBBY. For the most part right now, we have not a great pre-market action, guys. Pretty choppy for the most part. We have 301,000 shares traded. The daily looks a little bit better with this drop here. But for the most part, I'm not seeing anything great. Norm, any news causing this 8% drop today?
Yep, absolutely. They had earnings last night. Their loss was wider than expected. Their revenues were a little shorter than expected, were a little lower than expected. They did have a giant increase in online sales, but you can imagine why, because
Mm-hmm.
nobody could go in the store. And then
Right.
the other thing about it too is they're closing two. They said they're going to close 200 stores over the next 2 years to try to cut costs. They got a new CEO. I want to say last fall. I believe he was from Target, well-known guy. Especially, apparently, they pulled him in for a turnaround effort. So that's what they're going through right now. And they did note that they did see a bit uptick in their big ticket items being sold. People at home, I guess, spending those stimulus checks on expensive duvets and stuff. Since they have nothing else to do, they're taking longer naps.
Yeah, absolutely. So
One
BBY,
thing, one
guys.
thing to note on BBBY, it has a massive short float. It has for a long time. So if I trade this, I will keep that in mind, and I will be cautious if I see a potential squeeze forming. Whether when I say cautious, if it looks short, I'd be cautious about taking it. I'd be weary. If I start seeing an uptick, I would probably dump my position pretty quick personally. It's 73% on trade ideas, not quite that high on FinViz. So,
Yeah.
or it could set up for a squeeze. It could be a good play. We'll just have
Yeah.
to see what the
Yeah.
price action does to that.
Yep, absolutely. Right now, pretty much it's going sideways for the most part. But again, you do got some activity here down quite a bit. So we'll keep an eye on this one. Next, we have NGG here. This one, the pre-market's a little bit all over the place. Starting to get going here. Looks like we might be getting some volume in, but for the most part, it's pretty flat, pretty dead. We are down 5.8, which is nice. On the daily, that also looks
This
good.
is
But
a this is a United Kingdom utilities company, so I'm going to guess it's just untradeable, frankly.
yeah, and my
Before we
next
even
thing.
start diving into that.
Yeah, my next thing, as soon as I looked at the volume, I saw everything here, guys. Look, under 1 million shares traded. You see something like that, you just stay away from that. It's not going to be any good for you. So we'll skip on this one here. Let's look at WBA. This one has some pretty, let's remove some of these levels we have here. A pretty significant drop here this morning, 5.3 with some pretty good volume. I love the daily. We lost this area of great support. I'm going to mark down now here at 44, at 40.74. We just blew right through that. So Norm, what's the news on this today?
Yeah, they had earnings this morning. They beat revenues by just a tiny bit, but they had a pretty nasty earnings compared to their estimate. They earned 83 cents a share versus $1.10 expected. They announced layoffs, I believe, of 4,000 ish people.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's hitting them this morning. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice big drop for them, guys. This one, this stock, when it is in play, guys, it does trade very well. So I will be keeping an eye on this one. It could be a potential player today. I love the
For
pre-market
sure.
action right now. And Norm, me and you, I think we traded this quite a bit in the past as well. So looking pretty good this morning.
Yeah, it really only trades well when it has earnings. So maybe
Yeah.
it trades well today.
Yep, exactly. Here's HQY, guys. This one, a pre-market all over the place. So we have a drop. We're having somewhat of a comeback here for the most part. We are down 3.3. Another stock that quickly just look at the volume or below 1 million shares for the most part. So again, anything with that type of volume for the entire day is not great for day trading, the type of style we trade. So if you look at it yesterday, although this looks
Secondary as well.
secondary, yeah, so horrible
Yeah.
news. If you look at this now, guys, this looks great, right? Looking at in the rear view mirror now, this looks amazing. But how this actually played out with the price action is the important part. Were you able to read the price action? Was the spread decent enough? Right now, the spread is almost 35 cents here or 25 cents. So was that easy to trade? Right, it looks clean now, but who knows how that actually looks? So not a great catalyst. Let's skip on to the next one. Plug is next. Plug, guys. Again, I just continue to see this on our gappers list. I continue to take it off. It's just the price action is very difficult to read. It doesn't move much for me. Right now, we have 500,000 shares traded. Their daily just seems to kind of be chopping around between this 925, a great area of support, and this 975. But for the most part, I mean, you have a lot of volume, tons of volume here, 500,000 almost, and your pre-market looks horrible. So again, I'm not sure if anybody has been watching this and trading it. I'll throw it on here. Maybe it's a possible. We'll do some levels for it.
Yeah. I was just going to say they're down on an analyst downgrade. I can't remember. Let me look who the analyst was. Barclays down. They had a $10 price target and an overweight rating, which it reached their $10 price target. So they downgraded it to a neutral rating, kept their target, I
Gotcha.
believe.
Got it. So we'll keep it on here. Let's see if that type of catalyst today can get it going. If it loses this level, it could be a nice mover down to 875, but we'll have to see. VXRT, this is another one, the guys that doesn't trade all that clean for the most part right now. Very active, 215. It is down
Don't tell that to
3.3.
Thor.
Yeah, Thor loves this one, right?
He
He's
had a
been,
massive move
yeah,
on it
yeah.
not too long ago.
Yeah, so he loves this one, guys. I mean, very active right now. We have 216,000 shares traded. It looks weak. We're not gonna have a bias on this, but it looks like it wants to possibly come down and test this $7 mark and this $6 mark here. But again, that's just looking at the way it looks right now. Anything could change by the open. So we'll keep an eye on it. I know a lot of you guys have been watching it. As Norm mentioned, Thor had a great trade on it yesterday. I missed that one, but we'll keep it on here. Do some levels for it. Let's
They
head down to.
announced they announced a shelf offering last night, which is kind of a complicated secondary. So that's what they're down on. It looks like this morning.
Okay, gotcha. Let's go over to FSLY. This one, as we know, guys, has just been ripping it here. It's a stock that moves quite a bit, so you want to be very careful in the number of shares you take. Right now, they're down 2.5, 388,000 shares traded. I did not have it on my list yesterday as the pre-market was pretty much quiet, but look at the open, guys. You really got some good volume in here. You had a beautiful pop. It did get toppy in this area. It did come below the V up, but then once again came back towards the high of the day. And I know someone like John will be looking for breakouts here in this type of a play, and you can see here how great this actually moved towards the top side here for a little more towards the top end here. So it is an active stock, guys. I think we could definitely watch this one. The daily has been pretty nice to watch here. Look at this consolidation we had about 7 days or so here. Finally broke out of that yesterday. That's why you got this beautiful move, and today could be a possible continuation day one way or the other. So we'll keep an eye on this one, but again, be mindful of the number of shares on this stock. Last one on our gapping down list, ALT. Wow, huge day yesterday on ALT. It was not really on our list until it started moving, I guess, in the afternoon here. Broke out of the pre-market highs. And you can see here the volume coming in towards the close. Norm, what kind of news or catalyst do we have on this one that broke out? Seems to be in the power hour yesterday. That's
That's it.
it. I was like, yep, that's it. So
It,
nothing,
it is
guys.
a low float between 10 and 15 million. I don't see any compelling news in the last just not joking around. I don't
Yeah,
see any
yeah.
compelling news in the last few days. Maybe I'm missing something, but
Yeah, yeah. So nothing to report here, guys. Again, crazy pop out of nowhere. Look at the volume here. These are 5 minute candles putting in almost 1
there you
million,
go. Thank you, Jared,
2.4.
to the rescue. I can't believe I didn't see that somewhere. So it says they
Yeah.
signed a teaming agreement with Dyneport Vaccine Company on U.S. government funding efforts for its COVID-19 vaccine candidate.
Gotcha.
There you go.
All right. So they are, again, after such a big pop yesterday, late in the day, they're down 2.5 this morning, 564. Just not sure. Again, this stock, guys, is a low flow stock, I believe. What's the float on this? It was just on here. It's dropping now. So I'm
10 to
going to,
15 million.
yes, I'm going to throw it
I
down
see
here.
two different
Yeah.
floats,
I'm gonna throw
different
it down
sources.
here, guys. I'm not gonna really focus on that one. So here it is, ALT, excuse me, 15 million shares float. All right, let's look at what's gapping up today. DSS is leading the way here. Crazy pre-market action, a 1.8 million shares float. So we already know where that's going to go. Down here next to ALT for the low flow team. Again, guys, pretty active this morning. 5 million shares traded right now. Again, this is a what ticker is this? Document security system. I'm not sure what they do, but obviously they got some good news, Norm. Anything exciting happening there?
The last thing I'm seeing, and maybe I'm missing it here too. I don't dig into these super low floats a
Yeah.
lot. That's part of it too. I'm not seeing anything in the last 48 hours,
Yeah.
so not sure what they're doing. But it's essentially a security company for counterfeit goods, brand protection, and stuff like that.
Got it.
So
And the issue with this stock is look at the daily. Look how horrible this is. Also, it's sitting on the American exchange, which typically takes a little trades a little bit different. I really like trading on the Nasdaq exchange and the New York Stock Exchange. The American exchange, sometimes you see this weird action, which I pretty much stay away from. APDN this morning, they are up 11%, 169,000. Although that 169 is not looking good at all, guys. Again, just pretty much a crappy pre-market activity. You have almost half, a little bit of a third or so sitting on this one candle here, 50,000 shares. So again, not looking all that great right now. I'm not seeing anything exciting on it. I'm going to skip on it. If that gets better, throw it back out to us, guys. Also, it is a 3 million shares flow, so be mindful of that. Here's a LCA. This one, the daily just looks wild. Nothing great about this. Look at the pre-market activity right now. It's just really choppy all over the place. So we will definitely skip on this one. NKLA has been pretty good to watch lately. It had a nice, beautiful bounce yesterday, guys, after getting extended towards the bottom here, hitting this level at 40, which was an area of support in the past, prior resistance. And just look at the pre-market so far this morning, up not almost 10%, 1.3 million shares traded. So I think this will be definitely in for a continuation play, possibly if it can continue on this strength here. Again, it got pretty extended here towards the downside, popping up nicely. Norm, any new catalysts or heard news on this one, or just overall the way this sector has been moving with other companies as well?
Yeah, I mean, this is just a hot sector right now. We've talked about it every day. I'm not seeing anything fresh as of
Mm-hmm.
this morning. Um, I know the CEO was talking, I believe yesterday, they got an upgrade out of JP Morgan yesterday that I mentioned with a $45 price target. So I think it's just hopping around in here.
Yep. And I remind you of this again, guys, when we do levels. But again, look at these candles. They're $2 candles. The spread is 10 cents, sometimes even worse. So be careful with that information you have there when you make a decision to either jump in on or out of that trade. Here's AYRO. For the most part, pre-market actions really not looking great, guys. I'm not seeing any type of flow here. The daily also pretty bad. What's the float on this? 4.2. All right, so it's a 4.2 million shares float, guys. It's a very low flow stock. The pre-market action is not looking great. If you are, for me personally, if you were to look at a low flow stock, something like DSS, right, where it has this type of pre-market access, what you want to see. We've seen a couple this week that have been pretty good, trading pretty active in the pre-market. This one definitely not it this morning. INO, no, NIO, I had to write the
And
first
I
time.
know.
Yep. NIO, we had a lot of fun with that yesterday, by the way, in the chat room with Brian and Andrew. Andrew being in one
We need to
stock.
we need to differentiate on these just to make
Yeah.
sure people are clear. We'll call
Yes.
one Neo for the car company because that's what
Yep.
it is,
Yep.
and then INO for the drug company. So
Exactly.
Neo. How about
And
that?
that's perfect. And then on Neo, I forgot who was in it. I think Andrew was long, and then Brian was short, the other one. So as they were calling things out, it was pretty comical to see the different names being kind of translated there. So Neo right now, guys, looking pretty good, hitting the VWAP. Pre-market activity is looking great, guys. We got tons of volume, 9.6 million shares traded. Yesterday, it traded very well. Gave us a hard time getting above this 15. It eventually did a small little pop. We took some of that, but no continuation. It just couldn't get above this area here. Beautiful drop towards the bottom here as sold off towards the end of the day. So I expect this to be active, possible for this morning to be a continuation play. Either way, really, because it's just been so active. SHLL, this is a shell company, guys. So we've been skipping on this one. I really do not trade these right now. Their pre-market actually is not looking all that great anyways. They have 118,000 shares traded, but for the most part, this one is one that doesn't trade all that exciting and all that well. SBSW, we'll do just a few more, and then I'm going to skip over to the cruise lines, JD Baba, and then
SBSW, skip that. It's a South African gold miner.
okay, yeah, thank you, man. We'll skip on that one. So let's go to some of the ones that we've been watching closely, guys. Let's look at the cruise lines. I think I have two on here. CCL. Here we go. So CCL this morning, they are up 4.6, 1.7 million shares traded. So now we're getting a little more volume on CCL. This is up nicely. Pre-market is looking okay. Definitely worth keeping an eye on. I want to take a look at what RCL is doing, another cruise line as well. Not as much volume. It is popping up 2.5 here.
CCL is the one with the news this morning. One of
It is. Okay.
their subsidiaries, one of their cruise lines, is going to start sailing ships next month. I believe they have 3 planned. So
Oh,
that's what's
excellent.
popping the cruises.
Nice. So that's why CCL has the most volume, guys, 1.7. If you look at RCL and also NCLH, another one that we've been trading pretty often, their volume is slightly lighter and not the best pre-market activity. So we'll keep CCL on here this morning. Let's take a look at JD and Baba, guys. Baba has been incredible. JD following suit as well. JD's up 4.4 this morning, 423. And Baba also doing amazing things. Yesterday traded just incredible. It is up another 3.8 this morning with 851. Norm, what's the news breaking out on Baba that's causing
Just
all this excitement?
it's really just general Chinese China stock bullishness. I'm not, there's some interesting. There's some. Baba had some news. Part of their company, I guess, is going to list on the Hong Kong's IPO market, but really, just overall, Chinese stocks have been strong the last few days.
Yeah, yeah. So beautiful pop here, guys. Again, Baba traded amazing yesterday. So did JD, but not as clean as Baba. Baba was great. So let's see what these two are going to do today. They're up now, but look at their pre-market action right now. It's pretty weird the way they're trading for the most part. So I'm not sure what the situation is going to be at the open. We'll keep an eye on both of them and see if anything good can come out of that. All right, guys, let's go over to our chat room. Norm, do you have anything else you like besides this one here?
Let me look. I'm still working on my list, brother. It's one of those mornings. Once again, I'm not seeing a ton that I like.
Excellent. Yeah,
If I
this list.
find if I find something great, I will throw it out at you.
Yeah, this list is definitely it's Thursday, and we had about 3 days already, which have had a better list than this one. So we'll see what we can get.
I won't trade it
Yeah,
because I own it as a longer term hold. But
which one?
Uber looks interesting this morning.
Let's take a look at Uber. I do like this daily here, guys. Pre-market is pretty quiet right now, but the day looks great. Possible breakout here if we can get the volume. So I'm going to put this down as a possible this morning next to plug here. Let's take a look at our chat room. So BA, I see two, Josh and Michael throwing that one out today. BA starting to get going here. Light on the volume, only 204. Usually by now we're seeing BA has some pretty good, decent volume. And their daily is just wrapping around this previous day close, which is the bottom of this support area that we've been seeing for the last couple of days. Yesterday we did drop below that. We recovered, came back slightly above that. And now today, possible continuation if we can wrap ourselves to get away from this these levels down here of support. So BA is a good possible, guys, right now. If it does not chop around, we'll throw it on here. Let's take a look at American Airlines. American Airlines has been active over the last couple of weeks. Today they have 800,000 and just kind of, going back and forth, red to green for the most part. Looks like it might want to come back to this previous day close line. This could be a good possible if it can get going today. I'm not sure. I think it was yesterday we saw some chop on it at the open. Yeah, so yesterday we saw a little bit of chop at the open. It was very active, so it was not easy to trade. Look at the pop, look at the drop, and then the pop again. It's a very, very difficult market opening price action for American Airlines yesterday. So not sure what we can expect out of it today, guys. We're not even gapping up that much. We're pretty much flat, only a 0.5% right now, and looks like heading down. So we'll stick it under the possible area right now until we see what else can develop out of that. Here is Twitter. Twitter was great yesterday, guys. Possible continuation. We're up only 1.2. The volume, though, is very light. So I'm going to throw it here as a possible because I know we have potential. And we had such a great day yesterday on it. I know Thor did an amazing trade on this. Let's just look at the breakout. Once it gets towards the high of the day, which is sitting right here, just look how great this thing traded. So if you're able to catch that, you had an amazing day yesterday.
So can I answer? I'm going to answer a question real quick
Yes,
that somebody
absolutely.
asked me. And yeah, I have a long-term hold on Uber, and I'm around 26 on that. So I'm in pretty good shape as we speak here. Somebody asked, do you not want to trade Uber for tax purposes with your long-term hold? You can have tax implications for trading a long-term hold, going with the wash sale rule and everything else, even in different accounts if one's in a retirement account and one's a trading account. That's not why I don't have that problem because I have mark-to-market accounting election. But my issue with this is 100% psychological. I have a long-term hold on Uber. I don't want it to go down. So I don't want a long bias or some kind of thought process clouding the processing of watching a setup on the trade. I don't want to get stuck in the belief that it's going up just because I have a long-term hold. So
Right.
I generally, it's very, very rare that I'll trade something that I'm holding longer term in a different account. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff out there to trade, so I'll find something else.
Yep, agreed. All right, let's go over here to RB3 Docu. Let's take a look at that one. Right now, guys, again, only 70,000 shares traded pre-market. It's really not looking good for the most part. Their day looks great. Has been ripping over the last couple of days, a couple of weeks, couple of months. Really, look at this thing. It's just barely any pullbacks here. Holding nicely on this 9 moving average on the daily. It's just incredible what it has done. But their pre-market action right now looks pretty light. So we'll have to see how if that gets any better. DKNG, I saw this on the gapping up list as well. Right now, we're getting a little bit of a bounce this morning. Pre-market action just not looking all that great, guys. Again, it's going to be one of those days where we'll have to sit and watch, looks like, for a little bit here. DKNG, only up 2% right now, but the pre-market action is not looking all that great. Had a good day yesterday. How did it trade? Let's take a look. So yesterday, quiet pre-market action. It did have a beautiful trading day, though. Look at this, man. Hitting the VWAP here a couple of times and finding some good support here to head higher. Possible continuation today. You're sitting at the above of this this level of support here that was support for a couple of days ago, but not much going on pre-market wise right now. So you know what? I'm going to put it as a possible because it can have some potential, and we're running out of space very fast this morning. But trust me, not a lot on that looks great. I'm going to have to skip over to our YouTube chat. But before I do that, I just want to take a look at Roku. Again, this could be the sleeper for today, as it has been.
It's got a beautiful daily, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I'm gonna put it here. Something else will get dropped, and Roku will fit in here somewhere. So that's for sure. Guys, we filled up our list. We have a lot on here we have to remove. I am going to just take a look at anything that we have on YouTube. If something that we missed that looks great, I'll add it on here. But if not, I think we have a pretty long list to get through. And the reason why this list is so long today is because a lot of stuff on there doesn't look great. So we have to fine tune it even further. And I'm going to give the stocks a little more time to kind of develop a good pre-market activity. See if we can, if something that looks great looks better, something that looks worse, we'll take it off. So
you've got Alt on twice, by the way.
I do. Which one?
Yeah, it's like Alt, ALT. You get it's like fifth from the top, and then at the very bottom right there, yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yes, take that off. Actually, I meant to keep it down here because that is a low flow stock, guys. So we'll split this into some sections in a second. We'll do two more from Edwin on YouTube. We'll do Cisco, CSCO right now, 256. Their daily looks interesting, guys. Possible pop here on Cisco. So we'll throw it on here. We'll do that one, and then let's take a look at SPCE.
They got an upgrade this morning out of Morgan Stanley with a $54 price target, equal weight to overweight.
Gotcha. Thanks, man. SPCE, guys, this stock, it was trading very well a couple of days ago. Lately, it's just been chopping around, so I'm not inclined to put it on this list. Even though it's popping up here, it looks like it wants to break out above this area of resistance. If you have space for this one, put it on there. If it gets really good pre-market activity, throw it back out to me. But right now, this stock is just not going to do it for today. All right, guys, let's go over to announcements. We'll come back and dissect this list because we definitely have a lot on here this morning.
Yeah, all right. So last night was Peter's webinar from the beginning, setting up a trading plan. If it's not already uploaded, it should be in the Education Center soon. So be sure to check that out. You know, he is a very smart guy and very methodical in the way he trades, thinks, works on things. So excellent way to look at how, especially if you're a newer trader, to set up a plan looking forward and how to execute that plan as you become a trader and go down the trading journey. Next week, Jared talking about identifying and maximizing trend days. So I've mentioned this before, I mentioned it yesterday, but all the time we see the chart and it's just like this all day or this all day. And you're like, why in the world, and you see it after the day, why in the world didn't I see that earlier? Why couldn't I get that trade? That's that low stress, keeps moving your direction, never really even tests sometimes. Jared's going to be talking about how to identify those trades early in the day, or how he does. I believe Dr. Katz's FOMO discussion is posted. And then next week, Mike will be starting his series again with Module 1, Defining Yourself as a Trader. We all trade a little bit differently. One of the hardest parts of trading is finding your niche, finding your style, finding what fits your personality and what works for you. So should be an interesting topic from him once again. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't been in the chat, you can do so at a discount for $24 instead of $39. Use the promo code PREMARKET24. As you see it on the screen, that gives you 7 calendar days, 5 trading days, unless there's a holiday, 5 trading days in the chat room. And it's also Carlos's live onboarding class every Monday night at 8 p.m. If you are a fan of podcasts, search your favorite platform, search terms Talk with Trader. You will find the Bear Bull Traders podcast. Peter's been doing an excellent job on those, producing content, I believe every other week, fresh content coming to the podcast. And speaking of Peter, join him, Mike, and Brian for the markets close on Wall Street. It's our closing bell show, 3:30 to 4:15 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Thursday. Earnings season cranks up in earnest next week. So they will have some things to discuss as earnings come out right after the closing bell, and they get shut up by Benzinga guy every 3 seconds.
Yes, yes, they do. All right, guys, let's look at this list. We got quite a bit on here today. Let's start with the top. So here's BBY, guys. They are down 8%. I do like what I'm seeing here on the daily, so hopefully a possible continuation here. One way or the other, remember, they do have a short interest, so be careful with that. If you see a possible squeeze happening, it can really take fuel pretty fast. WBA also very active, guys. I like these two so far look great, so they'll stay on here. VXRT. I am on the fence on this one. We'll come back to FSLY right now, giving some back this morning. I'm going to put this one aside, and the reason is because it moves quite fast at the moment. I think this could be a good possible, so I'm going to probably drop that one there. NKLA is good, guys. This has been trading very well. NEO here for the most part, tons of volume right now. We'll come back to that one. CCL is good. JD I'm going to remove. I'm going to watch BABA instead. I think BABA has a better volume. Pre-market hopefully starts to get a little bit better. I know this candle here is throwing things off, right? A couple of, what we call this a bad print. So a couple of transactions being posted, usually around exactly at 8 o'clock. That's what you're seeing that there. So we'll keep this one on here. Roku could be the sleeper, guys. I love the daily, but we're going to have to just remove it for now just to make room. Here's BA. BA still wrapping itself around the previous day close. I'm going to remove this one. Today could be a good scanner day because we do have a lot that could be moving well. But again, we just can't watch all of these. Here is plug. I'm going to take off personally, guys. Just we need the room here. Uber is a good possible. We'll move that down. American Airlines. It's got some decent volume. Has been pretty active. Hasn't been trading all that great for my taste, but again, we'll see what we can get out of it. Twitter, a good possible for continuation. Let's split this list here and move this down. So let's make some room here. So I'm going to move Twitter down here because I think Twitter can get going if it gets the volume. DKNG for the most part, also a good possible, guys. If we have a nice little pop here we had yesterday, possible continuation. DSS is a low flow stock, guys. This is very active. I'm going to remove it from my end because I don't watch low floats as much, especially when I have such a big list like this one. But this one, DSS, very active. It is on the American Stock Exchange. Again, be careful. The float on this one is about 1.8 million shares float. So I'm going to just remove this one here. ALT also, just I'm on the fence on this one. Also another low flow stock. So again, I'm just going to remove this one here as well. Here's Cisco. Let's see what we got going on. Possible pop here. They got a positive catalyst this morning as well. If they can get some fuel, they can get going there. All right, let's look at this again. So BBY is good. WBA heading back down. That's great. VXRT, I'm going to move as a possible. I know it can be a very fun stock to trade. If we have room for it, we'll keep it. But again, it's just not the best trading stock. FSLY, nice drop today. We'll keep it on here. NKLA is good. NEO is decent. CCL. BABA's popping up. Nice. Uber's a possible. We'll put it on here. We'll look for that in the scanners. And then let me see American Airlines one more time. What do we have here? Coming back down, sitting right in the previous day close. So I'm concerned it could be choppy. Let's put it down as a possible. If we have time towards the end, we'll do some levels for what we have here sitting on the possibles area. So we'll remove this one and Uber. And now we have a little bit more manageable list here, guys. All right, let's start with BBY. Right now they're down nicely. Low of the pre-market sitting at 913. 913 also is a great level of support that we have seen in June. In June, you can see the gap up here. That was almost very close to the low of this gap up. Comes up all the way up here, comes right back down to 913 before it runs up again towards the most recent high. So again, good level of support that has been tested 3 times including this pre-market action. High of the pre-market sitting at 970, and then towards the top we obviously have every level you can possibly want here. Highs and lows from the last 2 trading days and the previous day close. Towards the bottom, I am going to mark down 837. Beautiful area here where you see some activity. You got a couple of days opening and closing right at that 837, and then towards the bottom does not get better than this level here, guys. 772. Again, I don't think we're going to get this type of drop today, but we'll be ready for it if it does. 772. Look how great this level, how many times it has been tested, how many changes in direction are happening at that price target there. So you definitely want to have that on. That's a very clean level. WBA, we had a low of 40.74, which I'm going to keep on here. This was the earlier pre-market low, but look how great that support is at that price level. So you want to have that on there. The next one that I'm seeing here on is your pre-market low sitting at 39. 39.86. Also another area where we have seen some bounces, buyers stepping in here and pushing the price in the other direction, so that's good. If we lose that, another great level off this day here down at 39.39. Some more down towards the bottom here. Again, now we're really dropping quite a bit. 38.90, 38.08, and obviously 37. What the heck? This one's right here, 36.71. Might as well mark it down. Plenty of levels all the way down there, guys. Again, this is down 5.3 right now. When this has a catalyst, guys, it runs pretty well. So let's see what we can get today. We're going to get some type of continuation heading down towards the bottom here. So towards the top, we have 40.74, which we lost already. Above that, we do have this level here as well as 41.32, several days bouncing off of that. And then you have your highs and lows from the last 2 trading days and the previous day close on here as well. FSLY, guys, this one, we have the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. We're kind of stuck in between them now. Previous day close towards the top here, and slightly above that, the high of the pre-market at 98.80. Then towards the bottom, if we lose the low from 2 days ago, you do have a level down here, 76.91, that you can possibly get to. But again, pretty much stuck in the middle right now. Let's see what it wants to do. It can go either way. It's only down 3%, and we know the stock can really move. So although it's down 3%, it can easily go green in a heartbeat, because this one is very, very active and can move very fast on you. NKLA, beautiful bounce yesterday. High of the pre-market sitting at 60.90. Above that, you do have 65.33, and slightly above that, you have 72.89. You can see how many days are closing, bouncing off that 72.89. So towards the bottom of the price action now, previous day close, the low from this morning, pre-market low, pretty much close to your previous day close line here. And then the last 2 trading days creating some good support towards the bottom here. Pre-market action right now, guys, 1.4 million shares traded, looking very good, very decent, very, very strong for the most part. So we'll see if this bounce is going to continue into some of these higher levels that we have here. Neo right now dropping nicely, guys, losing this level here. I'm going to mark it down here. Looks like we had some good support happening at 1367. We dipped below it a couple of times, but now we're losing that level, running away from it for the most part. Let's see what the new pre-market low is going to be once that is completing doing its move. But towards the top, you do have the high of the pre-market at 1430. I'm going to just update this level here. Above that, you do have the highs from yesterday. Then towards the bottom, previous day close, low from yesterday, and then low from 2 trading days ago. And then you also have the opening of this, the bottom of this gap here at 946. So plenty of great levels. Let's see what this pre-market action does here. We'll come back and mark the low of the pre-market depending how that turns out. Here is CCL giving some back a little bit, getting a little toppy here at 1621, which is your high of your pre-market. Above this, you do have 1715, and then slightly above that, you have 1780. So again, a couple of good levels towards the top there, coming back down towards that previous day close lines, and your pre-market low is way below down here over at a 1488, and under that you got the lows from the last 2 trading days. So we'll see what CCL is doing, guys, getting very active, hitting 2 million shares now. So definitely on our list, but let's see how the open is going to be. We might have to wait a couple of minutes on CCL to develop, because again, if it comes back down and starts chopping around, it could have a choppy open. Let's see how that's going to turn out. So here's BABA, guys. It continues to rip high. We're up 4% this morning after a beautiful day yesterday. 996,000 shares traded. If you zoom in a little bit here, you can see the price action. I know it's very zoomed in, but you can see the price action a little bit better. So it does have a good clean pre-market action this morning. Don't let this candle here mess up your chart. So towards the bottom, guys, we do have the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, and that's really all you need. And we are sitting at all-time highs on BABA, so there's no other levels towards the top here, as we are ripping nicely over the last couple of days. Okay, guys, so we have some possibles here. American Airlines just chopping around here, the previous day close line. Let's zoom in here a bit. High of the pre-market sitting at 1220. So we'll mark that there. The low of your pre-market sitting at 1167, all the way down here. So we got a pretty good range. What I don't like on it is, again, I just think it's just stuck between all these levels here, the highs and lows, sitting right on the previous day close. It has to look like it might be very choppy at the open. So just be mindful of that. Uber, guys, a possible breakout here. The volume is not there right now, but this is typical Uber stuff, typical Roku. Which, do we have Roku on here? No, I'm going to add Roku because I think Roku has a great daily as well.
You don't have Roku?
I know. I have to.
That's why it's a sleeper, right? Because
Yeah,
you don't put it on your list and then you just see it the next day.
Absolutely, absolutely. So throwing that on there. Again, we just need some volume on it, guys. We're looking at some levels above here. 3502 looks good. All the way to the top here, great area. This is a nice one here. 3629, great area of resistance, as you can see, and then support once we break above it, and then once we lose it, of course, a nice big drop here with some room to run all the way down to the following support levels that it has. Towards the bottom, previous day close, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. It's got you covered there. VXRT, this one continues to drop down. We're down now 5%. Low of the pre-market sitting at 767. Below that, you do have the lows from 2 days ago around $7, and then below that, you have a great area support, prior resistance over at 628. Twitter, guys, possible continuation play. Big day yesterday. High of the pre-market 3607. We need some volume on Twitter though. And if we can get going towards the top, what do we have here? We have to zoom into February, March timeframe. Looking at here, obviously will be an area of resistance, 3906. And then you have a nice one here, 3809. Look at this level here. Tons of resistance, tons of support. Good area if we can get going above this 3596, 97 that we have right now. Let's look at DKNG. I'm going to remove this one, guys. Again, potential, but just the price action right now is not looking good. So let's get rid of this one. Hasn't gotten any better. CSCO starting to look very nice here. Looks like it wants to get going. High of the pre-market right at the price action right now, 46.97. Even though if this breaks out of this pre-market, a new pre-market high, this would be a great level to have because you do have a great resistance here, some more resistance over here. So again, this price level has been touched a couple of times. Let's see if we can break through it now. This morning already tested it once or twice. Another level here over at 47.51, and obviously all the way up here 48.20. Towards the bottom, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days got you covered, and the previous day close right on there. Here's Roku, guys. I love the daily on Roku, and really do not need to. Oh yeah, we do need to add one more level because this is the high, the all-time high, I believe, or no? Are we all-time high on Roku? No, we're not.
No.
Most recent highs, but now all-time high. 138 here, guys. 138.47 at that level on there. Aside from that, the main level that I'm looking at for Roku to break out is this one here, this 135.78, 136 area. So if you can get going above that, we have a nice.
Hopefully, it'll wait at least 18 minutes to do so.
Yes, exactly. Do not do it now while we're on this show. Wait for the market open so we can get a piece of that. All right, guys, that is what we have. Again, quick recap here on what we have, and then we'll look at our moderators. Let's give a minute to put that together. BBY is good, guys. WBA, very active this morning. I really like this one. This could have some good potentials towards the top, towards the bottom or the top here. FSLY, decent. NKLA, great pre-market action, heading back up to that pre-market high. NEO, nice drop. Okay, here's our new pre-market low now, 13.35. Let's mark that down. Let's see what kind of bounce we're going to get here. CCL, just kind of hanging in here, trying to hold the VWAP, I guess. Let's see what we can get. BABA continues to rip higher. Let's see if we can go back up to that 269. So pretty decent list right now. Let's see what our moderators have. Noam, let's start with you. What do you like this morning? I know it's not a lot. That looks great.
BBBY, NKLA, NEO, CCL, maybe FSLY, but I'm not a big fan of trading. And if I do, it'll be small size. Watching for that breakout on Roku, which is it happening right now? It's essentially, it's touching that level you're talking about.
Yeah.
WBA possibly, and maybe Square. Square and gapping down enough to hit our scanners, but they do have 481,000 shares traded, down 1.4%. They were trying to pop out higher from this breakout this morning, but it's come down below previous day close, so I'll have my eye on that as well.
Yeah, this was the big winner yesterday, Square. Beautiful pop here, guys. Took a bit to get going, but eventually did get towards that high of the day here and continue to move higher. So Square, just unbelievable what the stock has done the last couple of days. Just amazing. Definitely want to add this onto my list as a very top possible this morning. All right, let's take a look at the rest of the moderators. Let's start with Peter. Peter, thank you so much for an amazing webinar yesterday. The recording should be up today by noon if it's not up already. So Peter's main list, Microsoft, AMD, and WBA. I think Peter has been watching those two, Microsoft and AMD, almost every single day. They're becoming his really good buddies there. Secondary list, BBY, BA, NKLA, Facebook, and NEO. John is looking for high of day breakouts, and top picks are going to be BABA, NVIDIA, Apple, and Facebook. He also has BA on there as well. Amen's main watch list is going to be BABA, NKLA, secondary, WKHS, DSS. Thor is watching CCL, of course, Twitter, of course, and Neo. Three trading stocks he's looking to watch this morning. All right, guys. Jared has a. So Jared, for our community, does this every morning. I want to show you the great work that Jared is putting together here. So every morning, he puts in. Hopefully, you guys can see this. Okay, he puts in a comment on what he's watching, future stuff on here as well. So if you are, this is actually in our forum, guys. So I'm going to share the link on YouTube. If you guys want to see some more details of his watch list, what he's looking to do, you can go into the forum and see that information. So he puts a lot of information in here, pre-market preparation by the time here. So a lot of info on there. So I'm going to share that link with you guys right now on the chat room on YouTube. You guys can definitely check that out. All right, guys, that is what we have. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. As we prepare each morning here, we have a decent day today. Not the best list so far, but you'd be surprised. Sometimes we get these lists that don't look great, and they just become amazing trading days. So the key thing here, guys, is going to be patient, wait for the setup. And if the setup does not show up, tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow's another day, so we can find something tomorrow. No biggie. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Take care and trade safe.
Take care, guys. Trade safe. Thanks for joining us.